Okay.
Yay!
So
Hi, Donna.
hi, Aditi. Aditi and I are chatting about law of attraction, free will, vibrational, instant manifestation, because of something that just happened with her son. He thought it was going to happen, and then what, Aditi? It's like an hour or so later.
Yes, an hour or so later, it happened.
What actually he said actually happened, and it was really unbelievable. So Aditi and I started talking about, well, did he make that happen because of the thing he said, or was it going to happen? And then Spirit through me said, it's not that he thought it and it happened. It was happening already. He just was in the vibration to receive it now.
Yes.
And if he didn't think it, if he wasn't in that vibration, it was going to happen anyway, because it was so close. It was instant manifestation. It was so close. It was going to happen anyway. And that happening was going to lead him into the higher vibrations of consciousness.
Yes.
So go ahead.
So at this time, he was open enough to receive, because he was in that vibration already.
Yes, he
felt it happening.
Exactly. He felt it happening. But and the big thing is also, he didn't question it.
Right.
He didn't say to himself, why did I just say that? He felt it, he said it, and he just kept going with his day, right? That's what we talk about, seamless present moments. That's sixth dimensional. So then Aditi and I talked about the markers we set up for ourselves in the in-between life. And was this a marker? Like, both these two things were a marker. So my knowing is he set himself up for the first comment, which was, this is what's going to happen. And he had himself in that high vibration. But if it didn't happen, the event was the second marker. And he would have said, ooh, there it is. Okay, now I just lifted myself into higher consciousness.
Yeah.
So we were talking about that, and then I said, I got to put my recorder on. And then we started talking about this video from Cryon and Lee Carroll the other day that we both watched, and the law of attraction. And I have always said that is so old paradigm, the law of attraction. I never used it. I didn't enjoy talking about it, because we have to be in that vibration in order to see instant manifestation. But the instant manifestation was going to happen regardless.
Yes, and being in the vibration is what brings the instant manifestation, because you're open to receive. You already feel it happening, so you see it happening, which makes it happen.
So you're just boosting yourself even more by saying, oh, I asked for this and here it is, instant manifestation, when really instant manifestation means you were on that level of consciousness to see it happen. It was going to happen anyway.
Yes.
And that's why you have to keep your eyes, ears, and hearts open all the time, all the time.
Yes, and so with this happening, with witnessing this happen with Nate today, when I originally called you, Donna, I was in telling you the story of what happened, it brought tears to my eyes. And the reason why it brought tears to my eyes is because, you know, over the past few years, I just really feel like I've closed myself off so much, and I've been opening back up as of recent, but what I haven't been feeling necessarily is that sense of joy and just pure happiness. And I felt that today as I witnessed this happen with my son. And had I not been, feeling the vibration of that, I probably wouldn't have felt this today. And it feels so good.
I love it because
I feel so good.
And you were in such a high state when you first called me and told me the story, like we both started crying. But yes, if you weren't in a higher state of vibration, you would have received this message. It just still would have been the old paradigm thought of, why didn't this happen before? What did we do to not make this happen sooner? What did we do wrong? Instead of receiving every moment as it is, good, bad, right, or wrong, doesn't mean there isn't sadness, pain, and hurt.
Right.
But this is one of those moments where you memorize this feeling that you have right now, and you take it with you into the next moment that you might perceive as bad or wrong, and say, I can still receive all of my messages with the same sense of wonder, the same sense of joy, the same sense of, okay, what's the lesson?
Yeah, yes. And being able to receive that with love.
Yes.
Because that's really what it's all about, is loving each and every moment, whether good, bad, right, or wrong. It's not happening to us, it's happening for us to be able to stay in that vibration and to be able to look at it with love and work our way through that, still feeling that vibration of love and joy.
And keep it.
In the sense of wonder. I really like that. Yes, and keep it that way. And we're worthy to feel this all the time.
Exactly. And it doesn't mean, you and I have talked about this before, it doesn't mean we're not going to have our moments where we're going to be down. And I just told you yesterday, my other listeners will hear this story eventually. Yesterday I was feeling like crap, and I said, I don't want to do anything. I'm not doing the spirit anymore. I don't want to talk about spirit today. I don't want to be on social media. I'm done being this teacher. And then within 20 minutes, I get a sign from Abraham Lincoln and say, all right, I guess I got to keep going.
Yes. And I called you the day before yesterday because I was having a day like that of, fuck this, I'm done. There's no point. There's no purpose. And all it was a moment.
Yep.
And I got right through it.
Yep.
Yeah. So those moments and I can honestly say that there was one point in time where those moments were weeks, months, days, years.
Yes.
But now they're only moments, and I am so grateful to be able to have those moments and get through them.
Yep. Absolutely. But it's all about you. You know, in the old paradigm, no matter what we tried, reaching out to other people, doing all these things to get our mood up, it really didn't help. It didn't help. It was just time. I just had to move through it.
Yes.
And now in the higher vibrations, in this new paradigm where so many of us are holding down this vibration of love continuously, it is allowing for others to come along. We've jumped off that cliff. We've jumped off that leading edge. We didn't stand there. We're not teaching it anymore. We're doing it. We're doing the jump that we want others to do. And that's the new paradigm.
Yes, that is the new.
And it was amazing that video I shared with you had so much of what I've been saying and what we've been talking about. I loved that I got that. And
I love that you shared that with me so that I could feel that vibration outside of you and I having these conversations.
Right.
It was such good confirmation of the conversations that you and I have been having almost daily over the past couple of weeks. And it feels so good
So
to hear other people talk
oh
about
yes,
it.
because we want to honor, it's not just you and I, we know that there's a whole freaking world and universe out there, galaxy out there that are rooting us on and saying, yeah, you got it. You got now. Obviously, there's going to be more things that are going to happen, but we need to keep and have this love vibration. And interestingly, how I got to that video happened a week prior.
Ooh.
And if this didn't happen, I wouldn't have seen that video. There's no way I would have seen that video. Another friend of mine, person I know, acquaintance, colleague, said to me, Donna, contact this person about doing their podcast. I think you'd be good on this person's podcast. So I didn't.
It was that guy.
It was that guy. I didn't question it. Wait, no,
yes.
I didn't question this woman because she's giving me some other good sources. So I didn't really look at this guy. I liked his look. I liked the way he talked, but I didn't look on who his other guests were. So I send him an email. I don't know. He probably didn't even see it. Regardless, then I start looking at the rest of his guests, and his guests are high profile, high people, like the leading edge people. I think he had Dan Millman on. He had Christiane Northrup, the doctor, on last night. He had Cryon on. And I'm like, what was I thinking putting myself out there to this guy? I'm just this peon in this sea of people. Why would he want me on his show? And in those same moments, as I was saying those words and thinking myself unworthy, I said, there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason.
Yeah.
And then days later.
Yeah, well, it's because you are worthy. You're speaking all of the same things and even more than what some of them are.
Yeah,
you are worthy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had to feel that to myself, because otherwise that would have taken me down a loophole of a week. But instead it was moments. And I said to myself, there's got to be another reason, because this woman that told me about this guy wouldn't have steered me wrong.
Right.
There's got to be another reason. So then I started watching and I saw, oh, Cryon's coming on. I used to watch Cryon years ago. I always resonated with his stuff. So I listened to that video, and the whole time I'm watching it going, yes, yes, thank you.
Yes.
But it's hard when I don't have that. I don't have that. This is between Aditi and I don't have that following. Aditi's followed me for 5 or 6 years, and I've been writing this stuff for probably 10 to 14 years. I've been writing about everything that's happening. And now I realize the blog that I was writing about the eye of the earth back in 2017 and 2018 was talking about this moment right now.
Yes.
This moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's what's funny to me too is, like you and I have said before, we go through phases of where we're super connected and we talk a lot. And then there's times where we don't really talk a lot and we're both just kind of doing our own thing.
Yep.
And in 2017, 2018, we talked almost every day, if not sometimes multiple times a day. And I was right there with you when you found the eye of the earth in conversation.
Yeah.
I think you went back to your room and called me right away. It was like, I can't make this shit up. You're never going to believe what happened. And then now that we're, you and I are talking frequently again, and I am so grateful to be in alignment with you through these big shifts and these big happenings.
Yes.
And there isn't really anybody else that I would want to be a part of this with besides you, like, because you get it. Most people don't get it, and I feel it, but I'm still in that process of aligning with the vibration to completely understand exactly what these shifts are. And you have always supported me in that understanding. And I am so grateful.
Love it. Me too.
For our friendship.
Me too.
I'm going to start crying. So grateful.
In those moments where you and I had no idea where our lives were leading, both of us. Like, remember when we left, when VHI closed, and we both looked at each other and kind of went, well, what the F do we do now?
Yep, we get in the car together.
We just got in the car and we drove, and it didn't matter that I had to buy a car that day, or that, we moved 18 different states, 18 different times. It just started us both on such another journey. And I also am so grateful for your friendship and your love. So you were going to ask a couple questions before I turned on this recording. Did you already ask them?
No, I didn't. Okay, so because I have come into alignment with Cryon myself a few times over the years, and I have resonated as well. But I guess I just kind of had this image of what Cryon was, but now watching this video, I'm kind of confused on who or what Cryon is. So can you bring clarity to that?
Yes. Lee Carroll, he channels Cryon.
Oh,
and he is a clear conscious channel. So you won't see him with his eyes closed. He does more of what I do when I channel, right? Eyes open, just in another dimensional vibration. He picks up on that. So Cryon, I think it's one person. It might be an entity of multiples. I'm not sure about that. But he is a clear conscious channel for an entity named Cryon.
Okay.
And he's changed that video itself. I've seen him say things like, I caught him start to talk about old paradigm words, and he quickly changed that, which I thought was very interesting.
It was very interesting because I caught that as well.
Yeah, I liked it. You have to think, and you saw him thinking, not with his own brain, but still in that higher new paradigm. What are the new words? Because we could, I read something, maybe it was the same guy. I don't know where I was hearing about this, but back in the 1800s, it was the book I was reading. Back in the 1800s, the one where Lincoln came to me. Back in the early 1800s, this first guy that was channeling, he was kind of like Edgar Cayce. His name is Andrew Jackson Davis. He was like the first clairvoyant channel. And he talked about many things that were going to happen, and they happened. And people are saying now, as they read about him, right, over 100 years later, why didn't he talk about this and what's happening now? And, we have to know that back then, souls were channeling what we were meant to hear back then.
Right.
To raise our consciousness and vibration to get to this place. It was too soon. They weren't going to tell. We were babies, on the vibrational scale of consciousness back then in the early 1800s. And now, as people like myself and Lee Carroll and you, and we talk about this now, we're realizing, maybe 5-10 years ago, we didn't receive this. We didn't receive it for a reason.
Absolutely. It wasn't time yet.
So me bringing this through 2 or 3 years ago, almost 4 years now, 4 years ago, it had to sit. It had to get out there in the vibration first.
Absolutely.
It had to put me on that path so I could share it with you, so you could share it with others, so that the two of us could be here now in this moment, January 28th, 2022.
Yes, thank you, Spirit, for that.
Right?
Thank you, Donna.
And never underestimate that what you hear today isn't pertinent, isn't viable, isn't dimensionally something you're meant to receive, even though nothing has happened yet.
Right.
In the 3D world.
Yeah.
Because clearly you and I went back to that blog called The Eye of the Earth, went back to that blog and said, holy crap, this is what he was saying.
Yes, it's all happening right now.
It's happening right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Love
And
it.
you channeled that with the eye, like you just said, preparing the way for others. And it's the people that, you had mentioned your following, and I don't think people just aren't ready to receive that yet. And so I feel your following is going to increase now that the vibration of everything is rising. Those who are in alignment with that, who are aware, who are listening, who are open to receive that, are going to. And I feel more people are coming.
I felt that when you said it, because there's so many powerful speakers out there that have a huge following. But are they still teaching old paradigm or new paradigm thought?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you. That there will be more and more stepping into new paradigm. And that's who talked about that 2 years ago or last year? Somebody else I channeled talked about the older paradigm type teachers, whether they're older in age or younger in age, doesn't matter. They will be falling away, and more of the new will be coming in.
Yes. And so then here's the other thing that I found very interesting, because I've never heard him speak of the indigenous before.
Yes.
And I almost feel, and this was a question I wanted to ask you, do you feel as though he was talking about plant medicine along with the wisdom of the indigenous?
I didn't think of that. Not to say that it didn't come up in my head. I just didn't think that way. But as far as the indigenous people, yes, number one, have been here, and we don't know what parts of them are now in us, because we were them. We are them.
Yes, right. Yes, and that's the path that I've been going down, or been vibrationally aligning with, is all of the wisdom from the indigenous and the exponential wisdom that's even within the plants and what it teaches us.
Yeah.
And I just found it extremely interesting that he was talking about it. And maybe now that I mentioned that piece to you, because that's not necessarily your path, but now that I've mentioned that, if you went back and watched the video again of, oh wow, I really think that he is, or maybe you're going to get something else out of it.
I definitely feel that. I definitely believe. I mean, there's a reason my spirit guides, most of them are Native American anyway.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you go with this first scientist friend of mine who was also believed in all of this, and he was a physicist, and he said, we are everyone.
Oh, yeah.
So if we're not jumping on board with new things, we're just letting, this, he mentioned pharmaceutical companies. He didn't want to say it, but he said it. He mentioned that also. I went, ooh, where's he going? Yes. And he did go there too, which I thought was very interesting, that it will be falling by the wayside. People will get more and more into, going back to our root, which is ourselves, and, doing treatments like acupuncture, chiropractic, plant medicine, and letting that come out for sure. And didn't he also say, because when you said it, I immediately went to the young people that are coming in right now, the newborns, the anywhere from 0 to 30s. They are the ones that are picking up this message now, because remember I said a couple of weeks ago, look at my following. People are like in their 30s and 40s now. I usually get 50s and 60 people, your age, that generation. But did not Lee Carroll say the exact same thing?
Yes. That the newborns they're born with this wisdom that we necessarily weren't born with. I mean, we're born all knowing, and as we age and our conditioning, that's what dumbs us down or numbs us down in a sense. But the children nowadays, they're born with so much more strength in their wisdom that they're teaching us things.
Yes. And they came into this time. Remember, they plan it. We all plan it.
Yes.
We came in, I'm being 60 now. So we came in order to get us to this point. And now
Yep.
vibrationally, we're at this point. These little ones that are coming in now, even up to 30s and 40s, early 40s, they're coming in saying, oh yeah, oh sure, of course. And they don't have the shit that we were raised in.
Absolutely.
And that's fine.
Yep.
You know, we all plan that. That's fine. So for him to say he's noticing in his workshops more 30 somethings, 20 and 30 somethings, the same thing that I've been noticing with my followers and the people that are watching. Love that.
I love it too. Yes, it's so exciting.
There.
We really are living in a very, very, very exciting time right now.
So get out there,
There's-
people, right? Get out there and just
Yes.
figure that it's not just your job. It's not just this global thing we've got going on now. There are more things that are making way here that if you get bogged down into what's looks like is happening, it's not. It's to make way for what really is happening.
Yeah. Yes, and keep talking about it.
Yeah. Don't get bogged
Keep
down.
sharing- yes, keep sharing the high vibrational messages, and because people are getting there
You
to be able to receive it.
but the way you felt this morning, right? You and I don't know how Nate feels now, but you felt so close to that higher consciousness, which is you. You felt so
Yes.
close to that. That's what brought you joy.
Yes.
This is me.
Yes, it is me. And I haven't felt this really I keep getting glimpses of it. But every time it's like getting stronger and stronger that I feel it to be able to continue forward holding this vibration.
Right. And remember before, like I was the same way. It took a while for me to hold this vibration daily, seamless, right? Seamless moments. Yesterday, even I went to help my brother. He texted me a couple of days ago and said, I just got a load of wood. If you ever want to stack, smiley face. So yesterday I thought, oh, I think today's a good day. The sun's out. It's cold, but the sun's out. Go to his house, but there's like nowhere to put the wood. So he's like, I call him and he's like, I'm on my way home. You weren't supposed to get there so fast. I'll be there in 5 minutes. So he gets there and the two of us just cranked it out. And now there's this humongous storm coming today. And that wood would have been underneath a heck of a lot of snow. So I texted him and I'm like, I'm so glad that worked, that we got that done yesterday. And he's like, he just texted back, me too. Me too.
Yes, thank you.
So when you're in that vibration, when you're in that higher consciousness, sixth dimensional, seamless present moments, you don't question when you get up in the morning and you say to yourself, I need to go stack that wood today. I didn't know there was this huge storm coming. I thought it was coming like in a couple of days. I didn't think it was coming today.
Right.
I didn't look. I just said to this is the day. Same thing with when I channeled the eye of the earth. I caught myself getting up in the morning thinking, I don't have to work today. I'm just going to lay around in my room. And 5 minutes later, I'm dressed and headed out the door. And I don't even remember getting dressed. So
you were just in the moment and just did it.
I was like you talked about, you're vibrationally in and out at the same time. Well, they purposely put me in there and took Donna out.
Yes.
And then when Donna came through and said, why am I dressed? Where am I going? And I realized, okay, I guess the eye wants to talk again today. And then there I was. And that's the way I've been living my life since these things just happen vibrationally. Pick it up, get there and pick it up. There's more of us holding it down right now, where years before it wasn't possible to stay there. It was harder to stay there, harder to stay there.
Yes.
But this is global now. And this is not just global, this is galaxy wide, that so much of what's out there is cheering us on.
Absolutely. Yay!
Wow. Love this conversation, Deets. This is it. You're going on YouTube again.
Yay, awesome. Yes, get the word out there. We just had a great conversation and everybody needs to hear it.
Yeah, thank you so much for your love. Love to Nate and your mom and Sophia. I'm so happy for you guys.
Yes, thank you.
We'll talk.
Today was a good day. Thank you so much, Donna. We'll talk soon.
I'll talk to you again later. Love you, hon.
All right, love you.
Bye.
Bye.